I explain very often that our bodies and cells, our cells, memorize and store our trauma, our experiences. Every time we experience something that causes an impact on our nervous system, whether that be positive or negative, we have a chemical reaction. If impacted again and again and again, if we've experienced a lot of negative situations, the chemical reactions that our nervous system is constantly having gets memorized, stored, and changes our brain. These chemical reactions actually can then pass on to future generations through our DNA. Now, we know this scientifically. We're learning so much more about generational trauma. I wanted to just share with you a tiny little story of an experience of mine when I lived out in Asia. And I was sitting there listening to this beautiful Indian guru. She was so wise, so patient, so calm. And she liked to describe these situations of generational trauma as sun scars. It's a beautiful phrase, and it really created an impact on me. At the time when I was at her seminar, I was newly divorced, okay? I was just out of a 9-year relationship and I was newly divorced. And I was questioning what to do with my life, who I was, loss of self-identity, having realized I had lost myself in that relationship for so long. I didn't know who I was anymore. And there were lots of other things that happened along the way that impacted my nervous system. And she was explaining how things that we can feel in this lifetime isn't necessarily from us, because of us, that it's passed down to us, it can be passed down to us from previous generations, known as sun scars. Now, scientifically, the more we know about trauma, how it memorizes and how it impacts our nervous system and how it stores it, now we know more about that. I think back to that seminar all those years ago. Now I know and understand a lot more about the body. And it was such a powerful and poignant moment for me in my life at the time when I needed to hear it. Because there were things I needed to let go, some old negative beliefs I needed to let go of. And one of the most powerful questions that you can ask yourself is this mine? Is what I'm feeling right now even mine? Where has it come from? When we sit and take the time to fully assess and understand our feelings and perhaps where they may be coming from, we might discover room for empathy and understanding for other people, which can be really, really hard. One of the hardest things that my clients face is forgiveness towards other people who have hurt them. Depending on where we are on our journey of forgiveness, sometimes it can feel really, really hard, especially the more hurt, the more negative that experience had been for you, the harder it is to forgive. But through asking yourself how you're feeling right now, is this even yours, allows you to go there and question, what was this other person going through that created that negativity towards me? What did that person have going on in their life? What experiences did they have that meant that they weren't able to protect their behavior towards me? You know, what was going on for them? Where did that come from for them? Like following up their tree, their generational tree of trauma. So as soon as you start asking those bigger, deeper questions, you can start to find a lot more empathy for the person that may have hurt you. That creates a space that you need to be able to let it go and realize that it's not you, that we can stop making it about us and taking it internally, which is our ego at the end of the day. Our ego is trying to protect us. And as amazing as our ego is, it's really not very helpful. And we get stuck in this negative loop, very often believing that how somebody treats us is because of us. So sit there with that question. You have an emotion, you have a feeling, you're going through something. Somebody has hurt you, somebody has treated you badly. Is how you're really feeling, is it yours? Is that feeling coming from you? Or is that feeling actually coming through another person to you? Are you absorbing somebody else's feelings? Now, people who are very highly sensitive and have highly empathic qualities find this really, really hard to manage. And it is more important, if you are highly sensitive, that you have strong boundaries about protecting your energy and absorbing the energy of other people, because energy is very, very real. It is all about chemicals. It is all kinetic movement. It's one of the key lessons they teach us when we first become massage therapists and we are placing our hands on somebody's body. There is an energy exchange, okay? And I remember before I even had my own grounding and boundary techniques in place, I could have massaged a client and I could have experienced a healing response from that client afterwards, perhaps taken on a serious migraine or a headache and had to go and sleep it off. Perhaps my feet weren't firmly on the ground properly. Perhaps I had a foot propped up on the stool. Perhaps I hadn't done my grounding and warm-up exercise. Perhaps I hadn't done my cut-off exercise at the end. This is not mine. This is their time. This is their space. This is not my energy. Okay, there's all sorts of things that we get trained, because when we physically touch another human being, there is an exchange there. Okay, and it is the same when you are experiencing toxic relationships. Okay, that energy exchange is real. The trauma is real. The chemical changes in our brain and the stress in our nervous system is real. And that could have been passed on to you from previous generations. So do ask yourself that question. Is this mine? Or is this somebody else's? Okay. Somatic touch, massage, physical exercises, repetitions, they all provide a physical and a kinetic pathway to help release your stored trauma. So I always say to all of my clients, when I show them these somatic techniques, remember, it's not just mindset, it's body release work as well. We need to do the both. We need to do two together. If you can do the two together, you're going to be able to release the trauma that your body has stored, even if that came from a previous generation. Okay, it's going to learn new pathways. And I like to think of these three letters. I'm going to show you these three letters right now to help you remember this. So there's some kind of system. O, Q, and D. Okay, I created this to help myself remember, and I'm passing this on to you so you can as well. O is to observe your emotion. Observe it. By sitting back and observing it, you can truly understand and articulate exactly what it is you're actually feeling. Okay. Q, question. Is this mine? If it is, we can work on that. We can do what we need to do to improve ourselves so that we can fix that feeling. We may discover it's not ours. If we discover it's not ours and it's somebody else's, by asking that powerful question, we can find room, as I said, to let go and to not take it on internally. And the D, the most powerful part of this process, is allowing your body to finalize the release by discharging that stored trauma. D is a really important word for somatic healing work. How do we discharge it? We do our somatic physical massage and body work movements to help our body release it physically. Okay. It was explained to me by Jerry Peeves, an absolutely amazing somatic healer that I trained with years ago. He explained it to me like a lightning strike on the earth. And that our hands, our body is the conductor, okay? And we are receiving this electric pulse. We have an electrical imbalance in our body. And through massage, through hand-on-hand body massage work, whether it be somebody doing it to you or you doing it on yourself, and physical somatic movements acts like the copper, okay? And it acts like the rubber mat or the tires of the car. It helps discharge that electrical charge in your body and helps you release it, okay? And very often that's the step that people don't complete. And if we leave trauma incomplete, doesn't matter how much mindset work we do, we're still going to feel triggered and still have those same experiences, still have those same negative beliefs, those same messages, and attract those same issues in our life because we are not fully healing from that process and letting it go. So whilst this is a huge topic, I hope those tips today help you question a little bit more about why you're feeling what you're feeling, where that's potentially come from, and the process of how you can start healing from that and letting it go for yourself. So it's been an absolute pleasure hopping on today and sharing that with you today, ladies. Have a wonderful week, great weekend when it comes, and I'll see you next week. Take care.